Hi, everyone. So today's lecture is on the physical self care. And so let's get started. So, what are the benefits to improving our physical self care? So, some of them might seem obvious. So, we can enhance our physical health, we can feel stronger, we can improve our body image, we can change our eating habits, which helps our whole body system function better, including our mind. It includes exercising regularly, and then it also can help us sleep more soundly, so we can feel stronger, more confident, and healthier. And so I know for myself this has been a big change. I've always been active. I've always liked to work out, and this past year I've shifted how I see exercise, where I used to place it a lot on my physical appearance, and I haven't detached that completely, but I focus more now on exercise being for my spirit and my mind. I know when I work out, my brain functions better. I'm able to focus longer. My level of easily irritated definitely decreases, so I'm more patient, and I it's time just like for myself. And then lastly, I've learned how I really love to just feel strong in my body, and I like seeing, I like challenging myself and seeing the physical growth I have made. So that's been a really nice game changer mentally for myself. So part of our physical self care is not just the physical aspect, right? It can help our psyche. So, part of physical self care is our physical movement. So, the health benefits to that is our improved brain functioning, like I just mentioned. We can see an enhanced sleep quality. So, it could be that we fall asleep easier, or we might sleep through the night more soundly. We might get more into that REM deep sleep. That is what really helps us feel more energized through the day, the next day. And then we can see, a reduced risk of illness and disease. Recommended amount by doctors is 2.5 to 5 hours per week, moderate intensity. So this can look very different for all different people. This could even be simply a 30-minute walk a day. Um, so most beneficial physical movement is consistent and gradual change. And so when I say that, sometimes we like to challenge ourselves, which is great, right? But when we go from not working out for several years to be like, I'm doing a boot camp, January 1st, right? The start of a year. And it's 4 days, 5 days a week, at high intensity, we might injure ourselves. And so that's where it's more beneficial to do something that is gradual in the challenging aspect, because it prevents prevents the chances of more injuries, right? We can still get injuries if we're doing something gradual, but it definitely reduces the chances. Also, with consistent, so if we do this high intensity program January 1st, we could burn ourselves out and start to kind of see the physical movement as now just another chore, right? Ugh, I don't want to wake up to go work out. And so that's not really good either, because then we'll just kind of go back to not doing it. And then seeing it as this thing we failed, and having this kind of like a negative failure type of connotation in our brains about it, and scared to start again because we don't want to fail again. Um, let's see. I think that's it for that. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to say with it just popped in my brain is stretching. So that goes also with one of the most beneficial things to do too before and after exercise is to stretch. And so our muscles can get really tight. And then when they're really tight, we're more prone to injuries if we continue to work on them. And so just really taking the time to stretch the body and then also like rest it like when it's needed, and listen to your body too, and it'll be telling you. There's a difference between sore because you're exercising and potential road injury. So part of physical self-care is our wonderful sleep. So goal is 7 hours. Most people sleep 7 to 9 hours in terms of um, healthy sleep, and this is consistent. So some, especially younger, I would say even like definitely an undergraduate, right? We might see a lot of up all night for a few nights a week, or for cramming, and then we sleep 12 hours, and so this can keep you groggy throughout it all. We really want to see a consistent sleep schedule, as much as we can. I know people who work like graveyard shift, and their whole rhythm for their sleep cycle is messed up, because it's like when they are up all night and then they're off for their like weekend, let's say, it's like then they sleep normal hours. You know what I mean? So it can really become challenging when we don't have this consistent sleep schedule. And for sleep, it really is about the quantity and then also the quality. So if we are dedicating 9 hours, but we're tossing and turning because we had too much caffeine, or we're feeling anxious about something, or for whatever reason, maybe the environment we're sleeping in isn't conducive to your sleep. And so then you're up, through the night, you're going to wake up feeling more groggy. So nutrition as our part of our physical self-care. And so as we know, poor eating habits can be linked to diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity. Um, we have fuel foods. We know our vegetables are, especially our leafy greens are great for us. There's fruits, whole grains, variety of proteins, water, low or fat-free dairy, depends on your body, right? Or even dairy-free products. And then as kind of the golden rule is avoiding artificial sugar, saturated fats, limiting sodium. Also, I know for like my kiddos, I try to have them avoid the artificial dyes, because they're linked to a lot of poor behavioral items like hyperactivity. And then coincidentally in Europe, they put like a warning on items that have those sugars, or those dyes in it, or they even refuse to sell in certain areas. And so definitely with nutrition, do your own research. And our FDA does allow quite a bit of items to go through that aren't the best for our bodies. And so really it's important to do your own research. I continue to learn more and more about nutrition, or nutritional needs, what really works for my body, my system. My system is more sensitive than maybe the more normal system. I don't know what normal is nutritionally, but I have like I have high needs for my gastrointestinal, and so I need to make sure all foods work well with me, or I can get really bad indigestion. So it's really important to drink a ton of water through the day. You can actually do calculations of what you should be drinking a day. I know they always say like eight flow ounces, but it really does depend on your height, your activity level, and your weight. And so there are cool little trackers online for you to use at your benefit to really see kind of what you should be drinking, and then where you're kind of at right now. Because I want to say my friend in nutrition said the other day an alarming amount. It was definitely over 50%. I can't remember the exact number of Americans are living dehydrated daily. We don't want to be dehydrated. It causes a lot of negative impacts on our systems. I would recommend steering clear of eliminating diets unless there's reasons for, allergens, like gluten. People are allergic, or there's people who are allergic to many different things. So yes, definitely limit foods when you have those types of needs for your body. But in terms of if you're wanting to lose weight and things like that, if you're looking to improve your health, it doesn't always necessarily mean you need to cut a food group. There's the famous one of keto, and there's other diets out there. And so, they call them fad diets. And so really the best plan to do is the no diet, right? Which is really listening to your body, listening to your hunger cues, and allowing yourself to eat when you do feel hungry, while, filling your body with whole foods that really do nourish you. Really think of the food you put in your body as what really drives you, right? And it's what drives our body to work well. It drives our mind to work well, and it helps us even feel good. And so I have a friend who's a therapist, and then she's also a nutritionist, and so she does a lot of her work on feel good foods. So there's foods that are actually linked to helping you feel better mentally. And so if you want any of that research, let me know. So yeah, I would say there's so much research out there. I mean, gosh, my friends in nutrition, sometimes they sound like they're speaking a different language to me. They can get into such very just topics where I'm kind of blown away, and it's a little overwhelming. And so, starting small, if it's literally just, maybe you're eating cookies every day, you're baking every day, or you are eating, I don't know, McDonald's 3 times a week, 4 times a week. And so just limiting that exposure a little bit less. You don't need to cut everything out, altogether at once. Making little changes of replacing maybe that processed hamburger with a homemade hamburger that has, healthy beef, and, you researched the beef quality and this and that. So, it's nutrition is definitely something I think we can always improve, always work on. And I also think it's by giving grace. Like, you're allowed to eat an Oreo, you're allowed to you treat yourself, and it's really just kind of about a balancing act, and listening to your hunger cues. So body image goes with our physical self-care. So this is where kind of our brain, our mind comes right back into the physical piece. So we are very much one, connected beings between them all. And so our body image is the way we think and feel about our body. So more positive body image is we focus more on physical abilities. So like we're focusing more on, like I said, I've been working on attaching my exercise to the sense of feeling strong. And so focusing more on what my legs can do as opposed to how the workout is changing my legs, right? Positive body image can have increased confidence, and we can feel more comfortable. We can feel more confident in the clothes we wear. Maybe we wear something that we've kind of like said, never will I wear, maybe it's crop tops for a girl, right? And saying like, oh no, I can never wear that out in public. And then we're saying, you know what? Yeah, I can wear it, whatever. And so it's really accepting ourselves as we are in the moment. And that's okay if there's things you want to improve. Maybe you do want to lose weight, and you can have a positive body image while still wanting to improve something in terms of your physical appearance. That's okay. It's really just about loving yourself through it. You do not have to hate your body in order to lose weight. You can still love your body, and you can still nourish it. You can still feed it foods, healthy, full foods, carbohydrates, as you are loving your body, feeling good about it, and maybe it's losing weight. So something that you can do as a tool is changing your narrative on your physical self-care. And so changing your narrative is something like, it's kind of like repeating affirmations, right? Things you need to be telling yourself to believe more of it to be true. And so changing your narrative can include things like, let's say you've always been insecure about your thighs, And so it's really then looking at it like my legs are the things that get me through, being able to hold my kids on my hip, right? Because of the strength I have built in my legs. My legs are what are able to get me to my job and from point A to point B. And I'm so grateful for them. And acknowledging that we all have different shapes and we all have different sizes. Majority of women have cellulite, and so it's like acknowledging that and just having more self-love and more okay with it. And so it's really changing like your internal dialogue and changing your internal narrative. And so I think comes something I wanted to talk about is our comparing with others, right? And our perception of what beauty is. And so with the popularity of social media, we're exposed to a lot more of the imagery of what we think we should look like or feel like. And wow, she just really seems to have it all. And it can make us feel bad about ourselves, as if it's like that's not attainable to us. And it could even be like maybe it's how they look. Maybe it's the attention they receive for how they look. Like, wow, look at all of these comments just praising and just, all these emojis with fire signs, right? Like, and so it's like we can internalize that as if it's something bad about us, that we don't have that we don't feel comfortable in our skin to take that type of photo, post it, and get all of those positive comments. And so, part of having a positive body image, it might be limiting your social interactions with that. It might be looking at that less, or it might be changing your narrative when you see those types of photos of saying, good for her, wow, she looks great, or wow, he looks great, but it has nothing to do with me and how I see myself. We all have beautiful different bodies from one another, and they're all very unique. And so I think that the one positive with body image we're seeing with social media is you can find accounts that really are there to break the societal stigmas that have been placed, or not stigmas, societal perceptions of beauty. So there's ones that are, there's influencers saying, hey, guess what? I have cellulite too, and showing you that, from one post to the next, they can look very different, or from one filter to the next, or even Photoshop, of how many people are using it. And so really showing you that everyone's human, everyone has imperfections, and really now taking those imperfections and saying they are what make me unique, they are what make me beautiful. All right, and so now we are going to do a body scan meditation. And so I actually have the Calm app body scan meditation. I think I've done this one before, but it's a 3-minute body scan meditation. And so if you've never done one before, it will require you to find a spot where you can relax. You can maybe put your computer aside and just lay down and close your eyes. There's no need to look at the screen for this part of the lecture. It's really to relax, and body scans are to check in with your body and see how everything's feeling and to help feel calmer. And so you can also find some really great in-person body scan meditations at maybe a local yoga studio or breathwork course. And so I'm going to start it now. So if you guys want to get into a comfortable position, maybe if you need to move from, a chair to the couch or to the bed, you can go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I'm going to start it now. Hopefully you guys can hear it well.
Welcome to this 3-minute guided body scan. Start by finding a comfortable position with a straight back, and close your eyes. Rest your hands gently and allow your shoulders to relax. And take a few deep breaths to ground you in this moment. Feeling your breath as it enters your body and as it leaves your body. Follow the calming breath, the soothing breath, the breath that connects the mind and body. And now bring your attention to your head, feeling into your scalp, forehead, and face. Allow all the muscles in your head and face to soften. And lower your focus to the neck and shoulders, noticing any sensation here. Bringing awareness to your arms, all the way through to the wrists, palms, and fingers. Observing any sensation that arises on the surface of the skin or deeper within. Now scan your back, and if you notice any intensity, direct the breath into that area to allow for a softening. Feel into the belly, observing its rise and fall, rise and fall. And scan your pelvis and hips, moving your attention all the way into the legs and feet, letting them relax and become soft. And now settle into the stillness that comes from paying attention to your body, part by part. And when you're ready, wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back to the room and open your eyes. Enjoy this relaxed, peaceful state and take it with you into your day.
All right. I hope that was nice for you guys. That was a quick 3-minute body scan. And so the Calm app has other ones that are a little bit longer. You can also find them on YouTube. Body scans, it's a type of meditation that really focuses on checking in with our various body parts, seeing and just feeling how they're feeling. Sometimes we might have aches and pains, and they've been there so long we haven't really even paid attention to them, and so this can be a helpful way to reconnect with our physical body and really see what's going on there. And so with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for listening.